Now, speaking of New Year's Eve, it is a celebration, right? There's a sense of hope, there's a sense of renewal. A fresh year is about to begin. And in that year, there are no limits on what you can accomplish or who you can become. And that day, that sense of hope, that sense of celebration usually comes with a lot of events and a lot of parties going on, and that is fantastic. But you want to make sure that in the course of those celebrations, you are as safe as you can possibly be, and that stands out particularly when it comes to the roads. You cannot overstate that driving while impaired is incredibly dangerous for yourself and others, and that the best thing you can do is to either stay sober if you are going to drive or find another ride from a sober person. And one of our producers, Leah, actually spoke with an advocate for a group that is organized around sober driving. And so we are going to go out and listen to that interview now as New Year's Eve approaches. Let's listen in to our producer, Leah, as she spoke with a member of that organization.
ERICKSON, and I'm president. We'll start again. Mm-hmm. My name is Kurt Erickson. It's KURTERICKSON, and I'm project director of Virginia's Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign, which is a Virginia DMV effort to identify and apprehend drunk drivers.
Great. Can you tell me what people should know about the campaign and maybe some important parts of why this is such an important effort every year?
Well, I think that the most topical aspect of the campaign is happening right now, and the fact that as we head towards New Year's Eve, which is a holiday where over a third of drunk driving deaths, at least in this country, involve drunk drivers, is that law enforcement at the local and statewide level in Virginia are going to be stepping up their efforts to identify and apprehend drunk drivers. Specifically, 144 agencies, law enforcement agencies around the Commonwealth, are engaged in this effort between December 10th and including New Year's. They're going to be conducting things like 735 saturation patrols, which are efforts to law enforcement to go out to do nothing but look for impaired drivers, and 64 sobriety checkpoints. In fact, I was looking locally in the Hampton Roads area. It's 22 agencies conducting 8 sobriety checkpoints and 83 saturation patrols this month through and including New Year's.
Great. And this is something that happens every year. Can you tell me a little bit about what you think people may not understand about the effort, maybe some misunderstandings about it?
Well, I think in the good aspect that it's making a difference. This is the 24th year of this effort. And since 2002, when this campaign started, which is a Virginia DMV campaign, used to be called Checkpoint Strike Force, we've seen some pretty impressive results. We've seen drunk driving crashes go down by 39%, drunk driving fatalities go down by 11%. And the number of injuries, drunk driving injuries occurring on Virginia roadways have been virtually cut in half. But unfortunately, we're seeing some of these numbers go back upward. So like for 2004, the latest numbers from DMV, while drunk driving crashes and injuries are down, the number of drunk driving fatalities happening on Virginia's roadways went up. They didn't just slightly go up, they went up over 8%. And there's not a part of the Commonwealth that's immune from these trends. So while drunk driving crashes and injuries both were down in Virginia Beach, if you look at neighboring Norfolk, drunk driving crashes were up in Norfolk. They went up double-digit number. Drunk driving injuries went up by a double-digit number last year. And the number of fatalities occurring on that city's roadways doubled last year. In fact, today, right now, Virginia Beach, as a neighboring locality, that's a locality that records a drunk driving crash on average every 28 hours. So while we've made some efforts longitudinally, we've started seeing some of these numbers go back up.
And that's unfortunate, especially with all the work that you guys put in. What should people do to help you kind of curb those crashes? What can people do if they see a driver that they may suspect to be under the influence or anything of the sort?
That's a great question. I mean, I think the first thing for everybody is to plan your exit strategy before the evening starts. So plan how you're going to get home at the end of the evening. You know, we've done this campaign now for 24 years. We annually survey young male drivers, which are the audience that's overrepresented in fatal car crashes where alcohol is a factor. And the latest one that we did of 1,000 young drivers in Virginia was done in August. And 96%, so virtually all, said that it was very important to plan a safe ride home before evening of drinking, but only 69% regularly do. So we're trying to close that gap. But I think your question is a good one as well, which is what can other people do? let's say that you're not going out for New Year's, or that you don't drink, or you're not going to a party. I think there's things that we could all do. One is to safely report drunk drivers if you suspect you're sharing a roadway with one. And the way you do that in Virginia is safely dialing #77 on your cell phone, and that will be routed to the closest state police barracks. And you can actually be an extra set of eyes for local law enforcement, local and state law enforcement in that effort. And then secondly, I know it's cliche to say that wearing your seatbelt is your best defense against a drunk driver, but the real bottom line is that the routine wearing of seatbelts is the single most effective measure to reduce crash-related deaths and injuries. So buckle up these next couple of days here as we lead up to New Year's. And if you're looking for a New Year's resolution, I can't give you a better one than wearing your seatbelt in the new year.
And I feel like you might have touched on it right there, but if you have one message to drivers, what would that be?
So just know what the cost, first of all, know what all the alternatives are, from designating a driver, designating a sober driver, to taxi cabs, to rideshare, to public transportation, to spending the night where you're going. But be cognizant of what the penalties are for a DUI in Virginia. Even a first offense, if you're convicted of a DUI in Virginia, you're looking at up to $2,500 in fines, up to a year in jail, having your license taken away for a year. In addition, Virginia is one of a number of states that if you do get convicted of a DUI, and it doesn't matter whether it's your first or 31st conviction, you're going to have to install in your vehicle these in-car breathalyzer devices, otherwise known as ignition interlocks, which you or anybody operating your car is going to have to blow into and to demonstrate that the driver hasn't been drinking for that car to be operable.
Great, thank you so much. That was very insightful, and I've got lots of great pieces that I could work with tonight.
Okay, an ever important message this week, an important message all the time, but especially this week with New Year's Eve coming up. There is absolutely no excuse to get behind the wheel of a car if you are impaired. It is simply too dangerous for yourself and for others, and it is absolutely not worth it. The possible outcomes are tragic and at times fatal. And so it is just absolutely not worth it. Do not do it under any circumstances. And the 757 is trying to help make sure that you can avoid that if possible. 757 Sober Ride is offering an opportunity on New Year's Eve. If you are not sober, do not drive. And can we take this flyer? Or is this me, Sarah, taking this? Okay, you're able to take this. So $15 off a Lyft ride for New Year's Eve. So a $15 discount on a Lyft ride for New Year's Eve. You see the website there. Get access to the code to make this happen. And those are available starting 5 p.m. Wednesday until 4 a.m. on Thursday. So we know that those things can be pricey at times, but $15 off a Lyft ride for New Year's Eve to ensure, again, that if you are impaired, you do not get behind the wheel of a car. We know that this is a message. This is not new. This is not a new precaution that is being suggested, but it is worth emphasizing. It is worth reminding again and again and again, because there's simply no scenario where if you are impaired, getting behind the wheel of a car is a good idea. There is none. Getting a Lyft, getting an Uber, calling a sober friend for a ride, calling a sober parent for a ride, whatever it is that you have to do to make sure that you do not have to drive if you are impaired, and watch out for friends and family as well. It is much, much more productive to have someone be mad at you in the moment because you won't let them drive than have them be mad at you or mad at themselves after the consequences of driving impaired have come to fruition. It is well worth a moment of your friend being upset with you or annoyed at you for you taking their keys and not letting them drive if they are impaired. And if they need, you can get them a Lyft, $15 off, courtesy of 757 Sober Ride. Now, is this flyer available on our website, Sarah? I would imagine it is, but I want to double check before I give that information out.
Yeah, we have the info on 13newsnow.com, and then the code for this is not available until, I believe, like an hour before the rides start on New Year's Eve. So if you go to that website right now, I don't think that you'll be able to see the code, but you will once we're in the time window for the rides.
Okay, as always, top-notch information from Sarah Calloway. That is important to know. If you go to the website to get things checked out and set up early, which is very commendable, and you don't see the code, don't panic. That does not mean that the initiative is not happening. It simply means that the code does not become available until an hour before rides begin. So again, let's see. Let me see if I can find a little bit more detail. I'm on the article on our website. I would encourage everyone to go to this article to get the information just in case. It's never a bad thing to be prepared. Even if you don't think you'll be in this situation, it's important to anticipate the variables that could lead you to this spot. As Sarah's showing you exactly how to get there on our website right now. She's going to pull up a little very quick and easy tutorial on sort of where this article is for you. And again, rides of up to the program provides rides of up to $15 for individuals 21 and older who have been drinking alcohol or using drugs. At the same time, the Newport News Police Department announced it will conduct additional traffic patrols from Monday, December 29th through Saturday, January 3rd, targeting impaired driving and other traffic infractions. According to police, officers assigned to the operation will work overtime funded through a DMV traffic safety grant. Officials say this combined effort is aimed at reducing impaired driving crashes during one of the most dangerous times of the year. Again, that is key. this is one of those danger zones. That New Year's Eve time frame is one of those times where there are, let's see, we actually have information right here between 6 p.m. on December 31st, 2024 and 5:59 a.m. on January 1st, 2025. There were 42 alcohol-related crashes statewide, resulting in 27 injuries and 2 deaths. So this is proven by the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Proven out by the numbers that there are alcohol-related crashes that happened during this exact time frame, that New Year's Eve time frame last year. 27 injuries, 2 deaths, 42 alcohol-related crashes statewide. Don't think that you are immune to this possibility if you decide to drive impaired. Let's see. The chair of Drive Safe Hampton Roads Impaired Driving Prevention Committee said impaired driving is still happening, cannot rest until there are 0 crashes. Hopefully this 757 Sober Ride initiative leads to less and less people driving who are impaired. I know we're really hammering this message, guys. I do understand that we're spending some time on this, but it's important. And it is injuries and death that is totally preventable if you simply don't do it. That's the thing. It can be prevented if you simply don't do it. A small inconvenience in the short term is well worth the benefits in the long term of making sure you find another ride and ensure that everyone that you are with does the same if you are impaired.